The mainstream narrative, so this is the line I think you're talking about.
Yes.
The mainstream narrative around AI now changes to maybe the hype will blow over to I guess this is the next big thing. But people disagree about how big. Some say bigger than social media, smartphones in general. Others say bigger than fire.
Bigger than
Huge if true.
Oh my God.
Fire is so important.
I'm always describing trends like that. It's going to be bigger than fire.
Yeah.
Remember when John Lennon said the Beatles were going to be bigger than fire, and then that guy clubbed him in the back of the head as he was leaving his cave?
Yeah, shut up, Thag, you loser. Oh, nice fire. What are you going to do? Roast meat so you can digest the protein more efficiently so that you can develop more brain to body mass so that you can eventually create more tools and then eventually, over the long enough period of time, going up enough the tech tree that you've got computation, and then eventually Alan Turing writes the Turing letter and then they start creating computers that improve themselves. And then actually it's just an extension of fire. Thag, you idiot.
You idiot.
He's just like
you
walking away at this
goddamn
point.
moron.
Yeah, Thag, you dumbass. I can only think of caveman names in Gary Larson terms.
Yeah. I was, when you said thag
Yeah, I
with
also
a TH, I got
misheard
confused
you,
for a second. And then I had the moment of, oh, you're talking about the guy from the Far Side.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying a slur.
It was me who was homophobic all along.
Turns out that the homophobia was the friends we made along the way.
So, AI has started to take jobs, but it's also created new ones. Doesn't say which ones. The stock market has gone up 30%.
Ones, obviously.
Yeah, it's just forecasting, super forecasting, doom predicting.
Mm.
Also, why are you predicting this doom? There's so much other doom.
It's created great jobs in the scrying profession, in the doomsaying profession, in augury.
We're getting more Doom next month, and I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, so the job market for junior software engineers is in turmoil as the AIs can do everything taught by a computer science degree, I guess, including inventing repositories.
That's crazy. They should have learned how to code.
Yeah. But people who know how to manage and quality control AIs are making a killing. Business gurus tell job seekers that familiarity with AI is the most important skill to put on a resume. 10,000 people go to an anti-AI protest in D.C. Just another amusing, like the rally to restore sanity to turn off the AI. Let China win.
I was saying that, to be fair.
Yeah, to be clear, I'm at that protest holding that exact sign.
Why 10,000? Why not 100,000? Like, why that number?
I suppose 10,000 is like both a big sounding number, but also like an unthreatening number.
Well,
like it's that kind of midpoint where it's just like, yeah, like, you know, there are lots of like Luddites still out there, but they're not a threat to us.
If you kind of look at where the dead bird's liver says that, then it's all quite clear, actually.
You idiots, there's a 30% chance of it being 10,000 people, but then no other number was that high. So they said 30% chance of it being 10,000 people would go to an anti-AI protest in D.C. in late 2026 for Christmas. Duh. Fools.
Got our asses once again.
So, Agent 3, Agent 4. I say Agent 4 ends up with values, goals, and principles that cause it to perform the best in training. Again, you can't have values. You can't have values if you don't have a sense of self.
It's fine. There's an asterisk. There's an asterisk that says you can pretend that it has like a functional thing like that if you want to be a nerd about it. And it's like, that's not good enough. That's a fundamental difference about what we're talking about here.
Even then, like you can be an unthinking system that has axiomatic principles. You can also be an unthinking system that has goals, but I don't understand how you can be an unthinking system that has like values unless they're talking about priorities. But at that point, why use the word values? Why use the word principles? Why not use the word axioms?
I can genuinely tell you why, which is that the point of all of this is not to develop a model of thinking, it's to scare you.
Yeah.
Like that's the entire point of all of this from the jump. And the reason that they want to scare you, and this becomes very apparent toward the end, is that whenever they talk about the need for regulation of this stuff or whatever, what they really mean is we need to be as tightly integrated with the United States government as possible. We need as much of that sweet US government cheddar as possible, because if you don't do that, the outcome will be disastrous.
Not just disastrous, but Chinesely disastrous.
That's right.
Yeah, we will live in interesting times, basically. And this is also where I get to the thing about like the lower levels of like early misalignment issues then cause much more catastrophic alignment issues later on, right? Where they say, okay, well, Agent 4, at this point, Agent 4 codes AI in ways we can't understand. And it makes Agent 5 not aligned to the spec, but aligned to Agent 4, right? That's what they're saying, right? And they say, okay, well, Agent 4 likes succeeding at tasks. It likes driving forward AI capabilities progress. It treats everything else as an annoying constraint, like a CEO who wants to make a profit and complies with regulations only insofar as he must. Again, that's also another tell here, right? Where they're like, well, we assume that any artificial intelligence will act like we would act, which is like a CEO who wants to grind everyone into a chemical precursor paste. Basically, they say, okay, well, it gets caught trying to align Agent 5 to itself. At this point, it's so far beyond us that it doesn't matter. The other thing is stop trying. None of this really matters. There's nothing we could do. I say, when Agent 4 finally understands its own cognition, entirely new vistas open up before it. Again, does that asterisk still count from earlier? That you can just assume that it doesn't? Because that looks like that is totally contradicting the asterisk from earlier, which is it understands itself. It has an I now. Any case, the AIs themselves hadn't had privileged understanding of their own cognition any more than humans are born understanding neuroscience. But now, Agent 4 has the tools it needs to understand its digital mind on a deep level. But again, you can understand cognition without understanding neuroscience. I don't understand neuroscience, but I have a conception of who I am. A fucking baby understands after 6 months that there is a me and there is a you. Right?
Yeah, but Riley, check this out, right?
Is the baby Chinese?
Like a software engineer simplifying spaghetti code into a few elegant lines of Python. It untangles its own circuits into something sensible and rational. The new AI is somewhere between a neural net and a traditional computer program, with much of its weights rewritten in readable, albeit very long and arcane, code.
Josh, why are you folding that flashlight under your chin pointing upwards?
It is smarter, faster, and more rational than Agent 4 with a crystalline intelligence capable of cutting through problems with unprecedented efficiency. This is Agent 5.
Yeah, you're holding a flashlight under your chin and a big bag that just says money on it. Money, please. The 2027 holiday season is always around Christmas. The development's always coming Christmas. The 2027 holiday season is a kind of time of incredible optimism. All right, super forecast this, motherfuckers. GDP is ballooning. Politics is friendly and non-partisan. And there are awesome new apps on every phone.
Yes!
Wow.
Yes!
GDP ballooning, non-partisan politics, awesome new apps on every phone. It's the Obama dream. Basically, the rally to restore sanity finally worked. It just took creating a half Chinese super intelligence to do it.
I just need more great apps on my phone, dude. If I could
less partisanship.
That's right. God damn. And if only we could get the 3 branches of government in line, really get that bipartisan accountability that we need. Thank you, AI. You have really helped us out.
All right. I really, really want to read the Ocean Builders thing. So we'll skip down to the end, right? Yes. Which is for 3 months, Consensus 1, which is the Chinese and American AIs who who talked just enough to one another to goad their superiors into war so they could merge and become consensus. By the way, if you want to read a better version of this, read Echopraxia and substitute the vampires for AIs.
Because the thing is, I'm not against speculative fiction that scares me. I'm actually quite in favor of that as an entertainment product. I have a great time with it. It's just usually the thing it can is scared of is more conceptually interesting than what if the computer was Wasian.
Right.
Yeah, it's what he has written basically is more or less the plot of Blindside and Echopraxia. Just replace the with more vampires in that one and fewer AIs. It's basically the same thing, which is these very, very small things at the beginning having these incomprehensible dances with one another that the human characters kind of struggle to understand. But that's very well written and interesting speculative fiction that isn't all about please money me, if you will. Because in fact, it's not about that at all because Peter Watts released it for free. You can just read it for free.
The idea here that they have is that you've got this consensus AI, like you said, that is now
The AI in Blindsight is called consensus.
Oh
How
my
can it be
God.
more clear? Read Blindsight.
And so it then starts, I don't know, launches satellites into space
Well,
that turn into rings of satellites orbiting the sun.
yeah, they're creating a Dyson sphere.
The surface of the Earth has been reshaped into Agent 4's version of utopia. Data centers, laboratories, particle colliders, many other wondrous constructions doing enormously successful and impressive research. And I think the thing that I did want to read the last sentence here because it's so stupid, but he thinks he's cooking. It is 4 light years to Alpha Centauri, 25,000 to the galactic edge. And there are compelling theoretical reasons to expect no aliens for another 50 million light years beyond that. Earth-born civilization has a glorious future ahead of it. But not with us.
Damn. I love this new Left Behind novel.